Good morning, stand together. Good morning, Instagram. Jump on and say hi if you're watching the live, watching the replay. Give me a hi anyway. I'd love to see if you're watching this on the replay on one of the other platforms, or if you're live with us, jump on and say hi. Who's joining us today? Mel, VJ, Sarah, Nick. Hey, jump on, say hi. Good morning, Mariana. Good to see you. Hey, Anthony, good to see you. Good morning. Hope you guys are doing well. Belinda, good to see you. Jump on. Good morning, Liza. Peter, jump on and say good morning. Mia, great to see you. Jump on. Give me a good morning. Welcome to a Saturday, day 2 of Stand Together. We are in for a bit of a treat. I'm excited to be hanging out with you guys today. Hey, Di, good to see you. So jump on and give me a good morning. I'd love to see your messages. Hey, Caroline, good to see you. Jump on and say hi. And yes, you did beat Nick. Jump on, give me a good morning. Hey, we've got a really good one today. Day 2 of Stand Together. Now, if you're new to this, where the fuck were you yesterday? Number 1. And what was the lesson from yesterday? You got to go check that. Grinding, good to see you. Louise, good to see you. Linda, good to see you. So many of you guys jump on, guys, good to see you. So listen, welcome to this. If you're new to this, listen, I'm jumping on. I'm just trying to give you everything I can over the time I've got. Hey, Pina, hey, Kylie. Time I've got just to be able to share with you a bunch of things that can help you during this challenging time. 60 million people right across Australia are in lockdown right now. Of course, we've got lockdowns happening on and off, and people right across the world are being affected by this as well. So I know a lot of you are coming in right across the world. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to jump on every day and just share with you some things that I do, some things that I've been doing right across my businesses. If you're new to hanging out with me, what I do is I teach people to grow an empire, which just means multiple businesses and multiple income streams. And I do what I teach. Funnily enough, so I'm up to 43 ventures as of yesterday, whether I've either started that company, bought into that company as a major investor, micro investor, and all the fun stuff in between that. So that's what I do, is I build businesses and I focus on that. So we're all going through challenge right now, okay? We've got some, for me, I've got some businesses that are shut down, just like some of you, and some businesses are thriving and everything in between. But what I do know is that there's always something you can control in these challenging times. And what I also do know is that a hell of a lot of people have become extremely successful and wealthy over the pandemic period globally, that have made the right decisions, commitments, and moves, right? The right actions during this pandemic. And I'm very blessed to have done well myself in the pandemic, but also to steered the ship for a ton of my students through this pandemic as well that have been through this. So if you're new to this, that's what this is all about. But of course, you've been hanging out for a while, you know that's why you're here. So look, today, day 2, I'm going to give you just something, and then I'm going to do some Q&A. Yesterday's lesson, look, you don't have to watch every single one in order, but you're missing different lessons. Like yesterday's lesson was fire. You got to watch that one. I think it's really incredibly important because, and for those of you that would join me yesterday and watch my yesterday broadcast or my replay, you will know that what I speak about today has a direct link to yesterday, even though it's got nothing to do with it, but it will have a direct link to it. I'm going to link it later on so you see how important yesterday's lesson was, and as we keep moving. So look, today I wanted to introduce you to a lesson that something I learned, but something that I ended up creating, kind of a formula for myself that really helped me to understand as I grew my company is what was an important part of it. So that when it comes to business, right? Every business in the world, as the business owner, right? Every business in the world, as the business owner, you can be in one of 3 stages in that business. So when I see a business and I meet the business owner, I'm working out what stage that person is in. And I want to talk about why that's important right now. And I want to talk about what you can do about that right now, given the pandemic, given shutdowns, lockdowns, restrictions, and the likelihood that this is going to kind of fluctuate until the government decides that it's okay to open up borders and whatever, right? So this is just about dealing with what you can, not bitching and moaning and saying, oh, I wish everything was open and we could fly. Yes, I wish I was on a fucking tropical island talking to you right now, having a drink in my hand with my children over there in my background so I can see them hanging out and having fun. But you know what? We can't fucking do that, can we? Yeah. So let's just get on with what we can. So what we can do is we can understand where we are right now. So there's 1, 2, and 3. There's 3 stages that you can be in business. The first stage you can be in is called the job stage, right? Stage number 1. Now I call it the job stage because this is the stage a lot of business owners are in where if they don't work, they don't make money. So effectively what they've done is they've started the business and they've created a job for themselves. Now, by the way, if you're hanging out with me today, you already have multiple businesses, this lesson's for you too. Or if you're looking to start a business, this lesson is for you too, right? So number 1 is what I call the job stage. And that means that if you don't work, you don't make money. So if you say to me, Aaron, if I don't work, I don't make money. Like I'm an Uber driver. If I don't work, I don't drive, I don't make money. I'm a butcher and I'm the only butcher in my store. If I don't go, I don't make money. If I'm a massage therapist and I'm the only one that massage, I don't make money. Whatever the fuck, right? You are a number 1. The second thing, right, number 2, stage 2 in a business, right, stage 2 would be you're in a number 2 stage, which is what I call the business stage. The business stage is when you're a part of the process of making money. You're a part of the process of making money. What that means in the business stage is that you have other people that help you on your journey. So that means you might employ somebody or 3 people, or, I've had people that I've mentored that are worth hundreds of millions of dollars and they own one company and they're still a number 2 because they are the CEO of that business and they're actively running it every single day and they're a very big part of that business. So that would be a number 2, right? You're a part of the process of making money. That's number 2. The third thing is what's called a 3, right? And a 3 is what I call the empire stage. So if you're a 3 in your business, you're a 3 in your business, it means that you are not needed in the business at all. You are not needed in the business at all. What that means is that you don't need to be there. You don't need to produce things. You don't need to do marketing and selling. You don't need to hire and fire. You don't need to pump the team up. You don't need to do fuck all, right? You are a number 3, which means that you're in the empire stage in that business. So here's a couple of things to begin with. If you are in business right now, you've got to work out where you're at. And this applies to every business. So with me and my companies, I have to think about what number I am in each one of my companies. And I want to talk about investments in a second. But I've got to work out what number I am in each one of my companies. If you're looking to start a company or start a business, you've got to say to yourself, well, what am I starting? What am I building? What am I trying to create? Now, by the way, if you want to go and, buy a bookstore in your local community and work there full time and be there till the day you die because that's what you love, that's okay too, right? This is not about saying everybody has to have an empire. This is about saying that you've got to work out what you want and then make sure you're actually moving towards that goal. So here's the thing. For you right now, what I'd love to know is if you have one business, I'd love to know what number you think you are in the comments. Go let me know. If you've got multiples, you can just put 1/2/ whatever it may be, right? So what do you think you are right now? Go ahead in the comments, whether this is live, watching it right now, all of you watching this live, whether the replay, go ahead in the comments. Put it in. Everyone put it in. This part, remember, I told you guys that we're going to be playing together on this thing, right? It's not just fucking talking to myself on camera, right? So what do you think you are right now in your business, right? If you're watching this live replay, doesn't matter. What do you think you are right now? If you have multiples, you can write another number in. So you work out what number you are right now. You either, if you don't work, you don't make money. If you are not needed in the business at all, right? That's what we're trying to work out right now. What number you are in your business right now, what number you are. So as you work out what number you are, here's what's going to be critical. If you're thinking about starting a business, okay? So if you're watching this saying, I want to start a business, my question to you is, what are you starting? Are you starting something that you are starting as a number 2 or as a number 3? Or is it your first business and you have to kind of, graft your way to there and you're going to be, working your ass off as a 1 to become a 2 to become a 3? Well, where are you at? You've got to understand the trajectory of where you're at. So here's a couple of things. If you are a 1 or a 2 in your business, that the immediate thing you need to think about right now, right, whether you're in lockdown or not, is what are you going to do about it? If you're a 1 and you want to become a 2, well, what are you going to do about it? In COVID, if you're locked down, what can you learn? What can you start to do? Right? I'll put it to you this way. If you're not learning, you're dying. That's called Mother Nature. You can either be growing or dying. And in human terms, growing is learning. It's expanding. So in Mother Nature, the law of nature, you are either dying, all right, or you are growing. There's only two things that happen in nature out there. It's the same as our bodies, the same as the earth. That's the only thing, is we're growing or dying. So this is the time to pick up the book. This is the time to go and study the course. This is the time to put up your hand and say, fuck it, I don't know everything. I'm going to go get a coach, right? Whatever it may be, this is the time to do something now. So let me know for you, what do you think you need to do? Let me know in the comments now. I'd love to know. If you're a 1, you want to become a 2, you want to become a 3. What are some things? What's the gap? The question is, what's the gap, right? So if you're a 1, you might say, Aaron, I am a control freak. I can't hire people because I don't want to hand over the reins. I'm not sure if they'll fuck it up and I'll do it better. Great. All those things are great. But you know what? You can't be somebody. By the way, one of the biggest control freaks in the world was the late Steve Jobs, and he still built one of the most successful companies of all time. So you can be a control freak and still build an empire, right? So my point for you is that, what is the gap? What do you need to work on right now? What's that one gap you can do? And this is the time in lockdown to use that. This is a time in lockdown to be able to say, okay, I'm going to rewrite job descriptions from people and hand things over. I'm going to hire somebody I need to be able to hire. And if you're saying, oh, Aaron, I'm not sure about finances, listen, I can't give you financial advice. What I will tell you, though, is money is cheaper than it's ever been before. And in Australia, we sit on some of the biggest equity in our homes that's sitting there, that's doing fuck all than anywhere else in the world. So you need to work out your finances. And if you need to free up money to be able to grow your empire, then maybe you need to have a conversation with somebody about doing that, right? So what I'm saying to you is this is the time to be looking and saying, what can I do about it? Now, here's the deal. For those of you that want to build an empire, by the way, let me know if that's true for you, because I know not everybody wants to do that, and that's okay. But let me know if that's true for you. What do you want? What do you want to do? Who wants to build an empire? Let me know, and I want that to be the truth, right? Let me know who wants empire is multiple businesses and multiple income streams, right? Who wants to build an empire? Give me a yes, give me a hell yes, give me a yes, I want to do, whatever it may be, right? Let me know if that's what you want to do, because if it's what you want to do, multiple income streams in multiple businesses, right? That's what I do. That's what I teach. Period. That's what I do. That's what I teach, right? I don't teach you about buy property. I don't teach you about fucking Bitcoin and buying shares, right? I teach you about building multiple businesses and multiple income streams, because here's the big secret. You ready? The big secret is that people believe that the more businesses you have, the more headaches that you have, and the more you have to work. Initially, when you first start building your businesses, you work your ass off. Then you start to grow your empire, you're still working your ass off. But you get to a point where you get leverage, where you can choose to do what you want to do, where you've got multiple businesses and income streams, and you don't have to work the 9 to 5. You don't have to do that. Now, of course, you can choose to, but you get choices to do that, right? You get choices to not have to be the grafter the whole time. Now, here's the important part for all of my investors out there. If you're going to build an empire, there's 2 ways to really do that thing, right? There's going to be building, or there's going to be buying. Building, buying, building, buying. Now, when you build, here's the question. Am I starting a company that's going to make me number 1? Am I starting a company that I'm going to be a number 2? I can start a business tomorrow with somebody and become a number 3 straight away if I connect the dots. Now, some of you have seen me do this live on stage before, and you've seen me do this, right? At a little one-day event or something like that, where I built a business live and I've not had to be there. I've been a number 3. Well, this is the reality of how you can do it. So what I'm saying to you is this: you've got to work out what you want to be when you're starting a company. Now, if you're investing and you're buying a company, you've got to work out, what are you buying? Right? Are you buying a business under management? Are you buying a micro share in a business, right? Which just means, a small amount of money in a company. Are you buying a massive share in a business? What are you required to do? Like for me, I've got shares, all different sorts. I've got small, tiny amounts of shares in some companies that I own, to owning the whole company and everything in between. So say, for example, in my SpaceX investment, I'm absolutely a number 3, right? I don't say, Elon, you should do this instead of doing that, right? He owns majority of the shares, and there are much bigger shareholders than me that have power in it. So I'm a solid number 3, which means I'm not trying to run SpaceX. I'm not trying to give suggestions. I'm sitting back, I'm enjoying the ride, excuse the pun, literally, and I'm going to be cashing out of that investment when I'm good and ready, and when that becomes the biggest IPO in history, which I think it's going to be, because right now it's a private company. So that's I'm a 3. Does that make sense? I'm a 3 in that business. I'm not required to do anything. I'm a 3 in that business investment. So you've got to work out what number you are, what number you want to be in the business you have, and you've got to take this approach to building your empire. In other words, if you go start building 4 businesses and you're a 1, 1, 1, and 1, then you're going to have a fucking heart attack, right? Because you can't do it all, right? You can't go, okay, I'm a really good sewer. I'm going to go out there and make fucking mittens for people and sell them online. And by the way, I'm really good at brewing my own beer. I'm going to brew some beer in my garage and go sell it online. And by the way, I want to be a PT. I'm going to do some lessons online and charge people for it. And by the way, I also want to be able to go out there and run a convenience store and work there full time, or a cafe and make all the coffees. You're going to kill yourself. You've got 4 businesses where you're a number 1. You're not going to get anywhere. You're also going to restrict your growth. You're going to restrict your income as well. So today is about working out where you're at and where you want to go. Let me be really clear. My job is not to convince anybody to have an empire, right? What I say to people is, if you're going to have a business, right, you may as well have an empire, because I think that it's worth it, and you'll make a lot more money and eventually get more freedom when you understand the process of building your empire. I work less today. I still work hard, by the way. Let me be clear, but I work less today than when I did 10 years ago when I had a couple of businesses. And so for me, but I can choose not to. You know, I can choose not. Like I work hard because I want to now, right? I could choose not to be like, you know what, I can't be fucked. I not want to work for a week or a month, or heaven forbid something happens to someone I love and I want to take some time off. I can do that. You know what I mean? So that I say to you, because you've got to work out where you're going. So number 1 is what are you right now? And if you're going to start empiring, right, you have to think about what you're buying, what you're starting. So what number are you right now? And what number do you want to be in your particular business? So if you're watching this, what number are you? What number do you want to be? What's your gap? Right? What's your gap? So hopefully everyone wrote down what your gap is. If you didn't, why the fuck are you watching this? To hang out and look at my amazing face? I know, but it's a skincare routine that my wife keeps telling me to use. I don't use it. But why are you here if you're not going to do something? What number are you? What number do you want to be? What are you going to do about it? Number 1. Number 2, if you, right, are starting companies, there's some FYIs about this. Are you starting in number 1? Are you starting in number 2? Right? So what are you now? What do you want to be? And as you start to empire, as you buy or you invest into a business or you start a company, buying, investing, and starting a company, you've got to, so buy outright, investing or starting a company, that's how you start to empire. And of course, when I teach you this and when I run my courses like Empire Mastery, I show people how to do it, without money and all that kind of stuff. And because you don't need to have money to make money these days. It's such a lie that people think that they have to have money to make money. It's easier to make money if you have money, but it's not impossible to make money without money. And I prove that every single time I stand on stage and I share it with people at my courses. But what I'm talking about today is that you got to work out where you are right now, where you want to go, and what number are you right now. 1, job stage. If I don't work, I don't make money. 2, business stage. I'm a part of the process of making money. 3, empire stage. I am not needed in that business at all. So for me, in 40 of my 42 investments or companies, I'm not needed at all in that company. I can choose to give strategic advice. I'm not needed to be there. So it means that I'm building something that I can sustain and grow. I hope that makes sense to you so far. So what number are you? What number do you want to be? And by the way, tell me if you're taking something from this. Let me know in the comments as well. And also, if you let me know if there's something that needs to hear this, right? If there's something that needs to hear this right now, you can click that share button as well while you're here and share that to other people onto your wall, share it, and maybe tag people in this that need to be watching this. I don't know, people in your life that maybe need to know what's going on. This is the time to do this now. So listen, what number are you? Are you a 1? Are you a 2? Or you're a 3? And if you want to build an empire, which is multiple businesses and multiple streams of income. So when I teach business and starting and building, I teach you how to build multiple streams of income up to 11. It's more than that, but at least 11 ways that I teach that you can build income in your business and profit in your business in every business you have. So imagine if you've got 3 businesses, that's 33 ways you can make money right now. That's why COVID can't stop you. Because you've got all of the businesses that are happening. You've got multiple streams of income. So even if they shut the economy down, shut your state down, it doesn't matter because you've got multiple streams of income. So when people talk about, people talk about that kind of that cheesy, make money while you sleep and that kind of stuff that sounds a bit scammy, right? In my world of business, that's actually a real reality, but it's a real reality if you put the things in place. Like if you start or buy an e-commerce business that makes money 24/7, well, then you can make money while you sleep, literally, right? I don't like the idea of, how it's used some of these days when people talk about it because it just sounds weird and slimy. But think about it like this. If you can build out businesses that run without you outside of your location. I'm talking about different state. I mean, half my businesses now are in different countries. Half my investments are in different countries. They're in America, they're in Europe, they're in a couple in Africa now, and then some here in Australia, of course. But when I'm literally sleeping, those businesses are making money and there's multiple income streams in those. Does that make sense? I'm not sitting there going, oh my gosh, is that investment making money today? It's for this is about focusing on businesses that make money in multiple streams, whatever you're awake, you're asleep, whatever it may be. And that way you start to get more leverage. I hope that makes sense to you as well, right? So, question time, right? I can do a couple of questions and then I need to run because I've got my amazing children that are calling me. I can hear them, Dad, which means that they need me to come and hang out with them. Okay, go. What questions you got? Put them in. If you're ready to put the questions in, put them in the bottom again for me, or any questions you might have. Could be about this, could be about anything else. This is your time today at Stand Together. Hope you guys are enjoying this, by the way. Let me know if you are. Let me know if you are. Let me know. Okay, questions. Let's do this. What have you got? Throw the questions in. Go. It's the same thing, by the way, while you're putting the questions in, this is the same thing that I used. Yesterday, I invested into 5 new companies and I bought into 5 new investments. So I didn't start 5 companies. I bought into 5 new investments yesterday. I'm a number 3 in all of them. All of them from get-go. That's how I invest. Okay. What you got? Okay, Shelley Taylor, how do you get a control freak to let go? So Shelley, let's talk about this, as if it's not you, because how can you let somebody else, let's pretend it's not you, even though it's probably you, right? So I am what they call, Shelley, I'm what they call a recovering control freak. What that means is that I can relapse at any moment. So for me, what do? Look, I know that there's lots of things in some of my companies that I will be able to do better than other people. That's just a fact. Let's say I owned a business that sold cups. There's a cup. And someone was really shitty because the thing broke, and they wanted to return it. I've got great team members that can take care of that. But if I own that company, if I was on the phone, I just know, I'm sure I'd be able to solve it even better or take care of it even better. But if I've got to do that all the time for a cup that's broken, then suddenly I'm not a 3 in that company, right? I'm getting involved in every small thing. So you've got to be able to let go for the growth of the company, number 1. Number 2, you realize that you're hindering the people that you have around you if you're not letting them grow. You've also got to hire great people. You've got to hire people that can actually do the job so you're not constantly worried about what they're doing. And you've got to think about it like this, Shelley. Here's the way my brain works logically around letting go. If I can let somebody else do a task, and even if they do it 20% less than what I would, so they do it 80% good as what I can do something, right, in that business, it's freed up my time to go do something else, right? It's freed up my time to go do something else. So if it's freed up my time to go do something else, if I can go out there and do something that will gain me more than that 20% that they lost, right, which I'm pretty sure I can do more than 20%, then net I'm up. Because in the same hour that they do one thing and they 80% good, the same hour that I do something, let's say I'm 50% good, obviously it's going to be better, then 50 plus 80 is 130 versus 100% of me doing it myself and them sitting there doing fuck all. So I'm net better off if I use my time to do something valuable as well as them using their time. So it's real basic math in my brain, but it helps me reconcile that I need to let go. Does that make sense to you? Plus, you just can't have an empire unless you let go. Plus, people can't be able to grow. Plus, people don't want you watching over their shoulder the whole time, and you can't do it unless you do it that way. Have to let it go. Let it go, as they say in Frozen. If you have children, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't have children, you've watched Frozen. It's worrying me. No one should watch Frozen unless you have children. No, I know you're allowed to. Of course you can. What do you got? I'm a 2, but for business development, I'm a 1. What do you suggest here? Well, for business development inside your business, which means you're a 2 and your job in the business is to do business development, that's fine. You're a 2 in that business. So you're a 2 in that business. That's okay. So remember the seesaw approach that I talk about. So if you're in business right now and you need to get leads and sales you need more income to go hire people, right? So you need to focus on making sales. So you start focusing on making sales and you make more income. Then you seesaw that up and you start to hire more people, right? And then you go back more sales. And so if you need to go make more sales, then you need to make more income and then go and hire more people into your empire. And that's how I like to speak about what you do, by the way. If you want to build an empire, start calling it a fucking empire. Even if it's only one company, that's okay. Start calling it an empire. I called myself an empire builder, even I had my one company. I didn't give a shit. I wanted to become an empire. So I talked about it that way. Then, hey presto. So you've got to think about if you're in doing business development right now, then that's your job. You're doing business development inside of your company. So your job is to make enough money to eventually hire someone else to do that if you want to have multiple companies, because it's really hard to be the BDM girl going out there and shaking the trees for business when you're trying to have 5 other businesses. But the stage you're in right now, Louise, it might mean that you need to, which it does, you need to focus on doing what you're doing and make sales and drive revenue and kick it to your team to take care of it, right? Kick it to your team. Go and find the ball, throw it to your team and say, take care of it. Then we'll get to enough money where we can hire someone to replace that role. You can then oversee the business and start the next business. So part of this is also the plan and the execution of it. It's not I don't do get rich quick. If you don't have a company, you're not going to have 15 businesses by next Tuesday unless you've got money to invest right now. Then you can buy investments straight away, but you've got to build your way to it. You know what I mean? Like for me, having 40 companies now, for me, doubling that, right, in the last 18 months. Well, it's because the 15 years before it, I worked my ass off to build one by one, and then it starts to get easier because you start to get momentum. It's like in a car. If you're in a car, going from 0 to 60 takes longer than going from 60 to 120 because you've got momentum. You just put the foot down a little bit more, right? You've got momentum. So it's about momentum for you in your empire as well. Hope that makes sense. All right, we'll take 1 or 2 more questions. What have we got? Do you get presented to or do you go looking for them? Yeah, it's a combination. I get presented, I get pitched to about 8 times a week through my VC firm, our pitch process there, and it goes through my vetting team before it gets to me, but we get pitched to, and then I get sent the ones that kind of make it through, and then separate from that, I also go and find investments as well. So I'm always on the hunt. I'm always looking. I'm having conversations. Like I was talking to someone the other day, and I saw an opportunity for a franchise for what they were doing. They were essentially a 2 in their business, and now I'm in talks to them about potentially franchising them and taking them national and global. So I'm seeing opportunities. I'm investing. I'm doing micro investments in a whole bunch of different ways. But yeah, I'm looking as well as them coming to me as well. So I think I answer your question as well. M. Does holding shares in a company make you a 3 even if they are purchased on the ASX? Not really. Well, technically, yeah, you could be a 3 in that company because you own shares. So yeah, you could be, but it depends. I mean, if you've got a share portfolio, if you've got super and they've got like 15 shares, well, it's not really. Well, yes, technically shares are in, that would be a number 3, but you're not. You should be able to offer some strategic advice in some way in there, I suppose. But yes, technically you would still be a number 3 in those businesses. But if I bought a share of Facebook on the exchange, I wouldn't call that a number 3 in that business. Does that make sense? I would only call it that when I'm owning shares in those companies. For example, I own tons of shares in different companies. on exchanges, but I don't classify any of those as part of my empire. Does that make sense? If I own shares in a private company, that's kind of what like all the companies I own shares in or I own, they're all private companies. Some then get purchased. They get what's called a liquidity event. So I recently had I had a company that I'm involved in that does telemedicine in America, Canada rather, and it was acquired by a Canadian hedge fund about 3 months ago. And so what happened with my shares, what I owned in that company as a number 3, they were flipped into stock at a pre-IPO because they were an IPO, and then they were purchased out. So my shares get converted over, and then they obviously multiply because the buyout netted all of us a great income. So we could choose to either cash out in the liquidity event, or we could choose to hold on to our shares as they rolled over. Because of the company that was buying it and they were amalgamating it with their other telehealth companies, I chose to keep my shares there and just multiply those shares. What else we got? Do you think of an idea and get approached, or do you approach others? Both really, both. Like if I go, sometimes I'll go, why isn't someone doing something in that space? And I'll go and find somebody. Because like for me, when I start a company, what I'm very good at is I'm very, very good at working with somebody who's an expert at what they do and helping to actually build a business and build an empire. That's my speciality. That's me specifically. So hence kind of how I, as a mentor, right? I go to people that are experts in what they do, and why I can be effective as a mentor. I can meet somebody like you, Pina. I've never been a hairdresser before. Unfortunately, they kicked me out. But I know how to build hairdressing salons because I've done it before, and I know how to scale a company like yours without being a hairdresser. So it's the same as a mentor is the same as I am as an investor, right? As someone who's buying and building businesses. So for me, I sometimes I'll see a gap and I'll say, I want to do something there, or I'll see a business I want to start myself. So go out there and build a company or start a business myself that I can integrate with my empire. Or I get approached, one of the two. All right, what else we got? When do you know it's Sarah? When do you know it's time to let go of a business? What factors you look at? When you say let go, do you mean sell? Because sell to me would be if I'm kind of over it and I can make a lot of money and it kind of makes sense. If I'm really involved, I've got some businesses I'm not like, wow, passionate about that business that I'm a number 3 in, because I'm a number 3 and I don't need to be passionate about that particular thing, but it's part of my empire, right? So there's a ton of investments that I'm not jumping out of bed getting excited about, but they're still okay to be there. But if you're thinking about scaling, then, if you want to build an empire, then you need to think about replacing yourself all the time. But if you think about selling out, you've got to be someone that really doesn't want to be involved in the business anymore. All right, when I really got this, my life changed. Took you 2 years of hearing me. Yes, it did. Took you 2 years, but now you're smashing it. I know you love Frozen. All right, Jen, you're allowed to watch Frozen. Everyone's like, I love Frozen. Oh shit, I won't talk about Frozen anymore. Fuck. Okay, cool. So listen, I've got probably literally 1 or 2 more. Kids are calling. Struggle to hire people, labour. Can you hire them? Yeah, look, I know labour is a challenge at the moment overall for a lot of people around Australia. I hear that. The reality, all I can tell you is multiple job sites, poaching, worst case scenario, finding an HR company recruitment company to be able to do it for you, but you have to pay more for it. But I think that you gotta weigh up. Some people say to me, Aaron, I can't find labour or whatever it may be. If you've got someone that you pay $70,000 a year to lay bricks, for example, if you're a builder. If you offered somebody $110,000 a year to go and lay bricks, would they say yes? Most people would say, well, if the average salary is 70, yes. So the question for you is this, that $40,000 extra you've got to pay that brickie. Can you make more money by having that person work for you right now for the next 12 months than how much you have to invest into their pay because you're super busy? If the answer is yes, sometimes you have to bite the bullet and think about it like that. I hope that makes sense to you. All right, much love to all of you. Got to run. Got more questions? I'll answer them tomorrow. I'm going to be here with you, standing together with you every day. Just jump in early, get your questions in so I can answer those. And I've got another lesson for you tomorrow as well. So listen, if you've loved this, then go ahead and make sure that as soon as I close this down here, you've got to then go back to my Instagram page and go comment and share it from that, as opposed to doing it right now. You can still do it now. If you're watching the replay of this, go and like it, go and share it, go and tag friends in this. I always see when you're adding friends in, they should be watching it. And I think that's great. Sharing's caring. That's what this is about as well. Much love to you all. Have an amazing Saturday. Kick some butt. And remember that this is about standing together. It's about focusing on what you can control. And this is about kicking some butt along the way. So much love. See you guys tomorrow morning, Sunday. And yes, it is Pancake Day. Go take some massive and immediate action. Much love. Bye.